All right. Just want to welcome everybody to the Schmusic Records podcast. We have Monte Wilson on here today. I've spent some time getting to know him, listening to his songs. He's a beautiful, beautiful artist, and we just want to highlight him today. And we've got some good questions for Monty. Monty, my first question, very simple. Will you please tell us a little bit about you?
Well, man, I I love music. Don't know what that's. I grew up on it. I grew up young, knowing that music was in my heart and soul, and I didn't know how I wanted to express it. I didn't know how that was going to go. I didn't know if I was going to be a trombone player or a flute player, guitar player. I didn't know what I was going to do until I got older. I just knew that music was magic to me. Um, Man, it's just I actually, when I grew up, I wanted to be a band director going through college.
Yeah.
And then after about 3 years into it, decided, man, I'm too laid back to be a teacher in a lot of situations. But I knew music would always be a part of my life. I'm probably, well, I am one of the first in several generations in my family that has been in music, that has been interested in it, or shown any interest in it as far as making it a lifestyle. But yeah, man, it's just it's crazy because it's just like people don't know how to support you when they haven't been in that situation before. As far as your family and stuff, they're like, "Oh, you like music? You want to music? Okay, well,
We
come in
got to
love."
get on that, Monty. We got to get on that. I got, no doubt, no doubt, no
That's
doubt.
tough. It's tough, but you just follow your heart, man. Some people are romantics,
Yeah.
not in the sense of there's a sense of believing in what you dream about, and that's what I'm here for, man. I'm just following my heart, and I always have. Yeah, people don't know about me. I've not made, like, say, $1 million doing what I'm doing, but I love what I do, man. I love being a part of music, whatever part I can be.
Mm.
And I went to school, went to EKU, graduated with my bachelor's degree, and did a 3 year apprenticeship in a program that allowed me to still be involved in music.
Mm.
But I just love it, man. And I love it when people, when I see kids coming up that want to be involved in it and want to give all that they can to it. It's like, yeah, I remember that. I remember feeling that way, and it's just
Mm.
magical, man. I love it.
Mm.
It's always been a huge, huge, huge part of my life, and it's a way I've expressed my emotions. It probably kept me out of a lot of trouble growing up,
Yeah.
uh, but my faith in God and what He's given me, the love for the art of music,
Yeah.
uh, personally, it's just kept me, it kept me kept me straight in a lot of ways. As a kid, I didn't want to disappoint, my mom. Like I said, I was an only child, and my mom raised me by herself. And man, she worked her butt off. She gave me everything she possibly could to help promote what I did, and to still have her in my life is a blessing. And
Mm.
she's gone through a lot this past year. She's had some heart issues and stuff, but that's kind of been a wake up call for me, man. It's just been like this woman's lived her life for her son,
Right.
and it's just like, man, I and that invests more into me emotionally to be like more on point with where I'm going, what I'm doing, focusing on writing and whatever that God's given me, put on my heart.
Mm.
Um, I know country music is a lot of party, rowdy music, but country can be expressed in so many ways, man. You got the love songs, you got the songs about uh, growing up. You have people like Dolly Parton singing songs like writing songs like growing up in a cabin in the woods, Loretta Lynn, raised in Butcher Holler. It's the roots, it's your family, it's the way you were raised. So that's
Mm.
what's attracted me to the writing aspect along the way, as far as growing up and being um, directed towards music in my life, and knowing that was always going to be a part of my life. It didn't matter what, you know. And I hope that anybody else that, you know, listens to this and is involved in music, man, if you don't have dreams, dreams is being believing in yourself and what God's given you, the direction in life. Life is a scary place.
Yeah.
And it can lead you in so many different directions if you don't truly believe in what you have in your heart. And it's not about the money.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's about no matter what you do, you believe in something. So what, man? You know, people aren't making money. Not everybody that's involved in music is known or making $1 million or $1 billion. You know, it's just like, that's so sad that that's what it's become.
Yeah.
But God gives us all gifts, man. And like I said, growing up, whenever I heard somebody play a clarinet or a flute or a saxophone, when I heard them play something, it was just like magic to me.
Yeah.
And that led me to like, man, I want to express myself that way.
Yeah.
Frequency, sounds, you know, evoke emotions. That's beautiful. That's magic.
Yeah.
Opposed to drawing a picture and being an artist, you know, that's writing a story or a poem. Man, that's just so deep. And music is my way of expressing myself in this world.
Yeah.
Leaving my piece of my heart and soul in this world. So it's been an amazing journey for me to go from all kinds of emotions. Oh, I should be making a living doing this. No, man. You should be enjoying it. You should be enjoying the gift and the desires that God gave you. That's what it's been for me. That's the journey. And I've applied that, you know, to being married, having my son, going through hardships, going through a divorce. You know, I've applied it to all those things. And it's the gifts that it gives us on our heart, man. It helps you get through everything. For me, it's just, I don't know what I'd be without it. I don't know what I'd do without it.
Yeah. Man, Monty, beautiful. I love what you're sharing. You know, I'm interested in a couple things. I think we'll touch on faith as an entertainer, right?
Okay.
You know,
Oh,
we can touch on that. It's like, yeah, I'm a believer in Jesus. Yeah, and I play music. You know, it's one of those deals where not everybody can wrap their mind around it. But, you know, what I'm reminded of is what Jesus told his disciples. He said, go into all the world, which includes all 7 mountains of influence. One of them is entertainment. And so we go in and we represent Jesus the best we can. And we love people, we treat people well, and we write songs that are about faith, hope, love, and we put our best out there. And you just never know where it's going to go. You never know, right?
right.
And so I know you're a man of deep faith, and but I think I got a personal question
Okay.
because we've all got that song. We've all got that song, right?
Yeah. Oh,
That
yeah.
absolutely just okay. That's what I need. That's what I need to hear in certain seasons
Right.
of life. So walk me through one of your favorite songs that you grew up on that really just punched you in the heart. Mine is Travis Tritt. I'm gonna be somebody someday. I used to
Oh,
sing
that's a
that
good
at the
one.
top of my lungs. I'm
Hey,
gonna be somebody. Yeah. So
yes.
walk me through some of them songs that really inspired you as a human, as a writer. Walk us through it.
Man, growing up, I grew up in a very small church, and I don't know if I can name the name of it on here, but it was a very small church in outside of Lancaster, Kentucky. Man, the singing, the Amazing Grace, and Onward Christian Soldiers, and all that stuff. That's where I got introduced to faith and music and what it can do and how it can uplift your soul.
Yeah.
But when I go from there, I kind of bounced. I went into pop music, started listening to those artists.
Mhm.
One of the weirdest things as far as faith and secular music goes, when I was growing up, and the thing that I appreciated about this artist was his ability to play music. He could play a guitar amazingly. He produced. He wrote he actually played bass, guitar, drums, everything on his first album. But I really got into a song called Purple Rain.
Yeah. Yeah.
First hit me hard. Like,
Classics.
who's this dude? Man,
Right.
he had it all together at the time. He had the funky
Yeah.
hair and clothes and the
Yeah.
motorcycles and the chicks. I was just like, but man, that song. And I was just like, why is this? It like, I, when I was younger, going to church, was like, I know I shouldn't be listening to this, but man, I did. I was just like, there's a balance here. There's a balance between secular and faith, because we're all human.
Yeah.
You have to deal with that every day. Nobody
Yeah.
can, to me, I don't think anybody can be like too perfect. I mean, it's like Jesus used people who were imperfect.
Yeah.
Not to say that I need to be imperfect, but I'm just like, man, I struggle every day to try to be what he wants me to be.
Yeah.
And to me, so anyway, going back to the influence of Prince and his music in my life, it was just like he would sing a song about faith on one or two tracks, and then he'd sing a song about that completely opposite thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, that was just very interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
Then him being such an artist, to me, it was like a modern day Mozart, man. He was such a creator. He was such an influence. And then I got into other artists. I mean, I love the Police, Sting
Yeah.
solo albums. I love things that were lyrically poetic.
Yeah.
And then had a great feel and groove to it,
Mm-hmm.
music wise. And I wasn't really into country music in the early 90s, man, at all. I wasn't.
Yeah.
I'm not even considering myself country now.
Yeah.
I just consider it a music that touches my soul.
Right.
And at this point in my life, how I express what I feel. But I mean, there are artists now that I can specifically name that influence me. There are more of the Americana country genre.
Yeah.
But man, growing up, yeah, Prince was like the biggest thing for me. It was like, man, he's wearing high heel and rouge, and
He
like,
brought it, man.
I mean,
The
come on,
artist. The
he
artist.
and the
Right.
dancing. I tried to emulate those dances when I was a kid.
Right.
I might have a permanent injury from trying to do such things, but
Yeah. 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 You let Bo Allen tell it, he'll tell it, he'll tell the same story about Prince. He just influenced him. He's like, wait a minute, I can compose beautifully, and I can shred a guitar, and
oh,
I can sing,
that's sweet.
and I can wear whatever I want. I mean, we all love Prince.
Oh yeah,
We were all influenced by
dude,
Prince.
dude. I had the he had those eyes. He had those
Yeah.
eyes. I I man, I got a white poster board and a black poster board, and I emulated the same thing, put it on my bed. It looks so cool.
Right.
I don't know how I did it, but it looked so awesome when I was in high school.
Yep. Love him. You mentioned some people that have influenced me, man. Come on, the Police.
Oh,
Duran. I dropped a chord progression. I wrote a closer that the band agreed on using, right? You're in a band culture now, band, you have to all agree or we're not doing it. So,
right.
so my closer is called Here and Now, and it's a basic chord progression that I got from Duran. It's one of the things they close with. So I was so heavily influenced by 80s music, 90s
Yeah,
music, even 70s music because my parents played such great music.
yeah,
This was my dad's playlist. All right. Imagine if you grew up with this and your dad playing it all the time, right? I grew up on this was his playlist, cassettes now. Okay. Hank Williams Jr.,
yeah.
Merle Haggard,
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Bill Monroe.
All right. Yes.
One time, me and my friend, and then I'm going to kick it back to you in a second. One time, me and my friend we're snickering a little bit. We were just snickering. Now you know
This
how
is what
dads are. Dads can sense a snicker. So we were snickering a little bit, and he said, "Come over here, boys." And we knew he was serious, and so we said, "Yes, sir." And he said, "I'm gonna tell you what. There's one." I'm laughing. My dad passed away in 2009. He was a believer in Jesus and rest in peace. I can't wait to see him again.
Yes, sir.
But he lined us up and said, "There's one man you better never snicker at, and that's Bill Monroe." He was dead serious. And so
He
I grew
should
up
have been.
on so many different types of music and my hip hop influences. I mean, I just jumped in and just loved the the anthems that I was hearing in hip hop. And so I'm
Yeah.
influenced by so many
Right.
different music, right? I'm looking through your I'm looking through your Spotify uh artist profile right now, and you've got songs that's got over 5,000 plays. You've got people listening to your music and appreciating it. I want to ask you about one song in particular. Okay, there's a song you'd mentioned in our discussions, "What I Didn't Have." Wow, walk us through that song, what it means to you, and anything that you would want your listeners to really know about that song.
Well, that song, I'm actually not done a studio recording of that. That is one that is very personal, and it was like my trampoline point to like jump off of. It it was my first real country song that I've ever written. And in country, I'm just saying a detailed story song. Um, it actually got signed by a publisher in Nashville the first time. I had a connect, and he threw it to the publisher, and they loved it. Of course, it didn't get cut, didn't get recorded within 3 years. Got it back as far as copyright's concerned, but I didn't. Man, it wasn't even the point of the song. It was just it was my first true pouring out of my soul and heart of when my son was born. My father, like I said, took off when I was 2 years old.
Yeah.
Me and mom, we were alone, man, and that's how it just stayed. My mom just she didn't. She's like, you know what, my job now is to raise my son.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying that marrying my father was a mistake. I'm just saying that this is how things were meant to be. And she's
Right.
such a strong, faithful woman. And so, we lived with my grandparents for a handful of years until my grandfather passed away. But she took care of my grandmother, after that. And so I always had my grandparents in my life.
Mhm.
But that song, when my son was born, it just like, I was like, man, how do I be a father? How do I do this?
Right.
And it actually just it helped me personally to the words just flowed out, man. It was just like
Yeah.
God gave this to me just to put it out as a release of my feelings.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm so grateful to God for what He's given me, my interest in music, and the ability to express myself in that way, because a lot of people keep that stuff in and they release it in other ways. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And negative, negative ways sometimes. But I'm just like, I think God gave us an expressive way to release our emotions,
Mhm.
and I truly believe in that. And that I have to, because that's what's gotten me to this point in my life. And every day that a human being is alive on this rock we call Earth, floating around in space, and they believe in the Creator, and they have faith, and they want the best for the situation that we're in, of positivity, and want the best for their fellow man or woman, mankind in general, just to uh, be faithful to each other and love each other and serve each other. And
Mhm.
and you know, putting out a song for me is a way of serving, man. Maybe somebody else will connect with that and be like, man, I went through that too. I appreciate that. And they can do their thing too. It's just like um it's a way for everybody to connect, to not feel, like I said in my new song, Don't Feel Lonely, for us to not be alone. Everybody's struggling for something in this life. We get confused and sidelined with success and money and all this stuff. This is what we need. That's what we need. But I think God gives us our talents, man. Just just to express things to each other, so each other knows that we're not alone here on earth and that we're all together.
Mm.
It's just, I think that's what we're here for. That's what I want to be here for. I mean, if I die alone, in the future, in a room, nursing home, on a rock, on the side of a road, man, it's just, that's okay, because I've had a good life. And I think I've experienced what I was supposed to experience in this life. And I've expressed my heart and soul, what God gave me, to give to others, to get the people who are younger to get through this life together.
Mm.
And, but that's what that song was for me, man. It was just, when my son was born, that was the biggest struggle for me. I didn't know how to be a dad. I didn't know, but as the song says, I just tried to do the opposite thing the guy who took off when I was 2 years old did.
Yeah.
Instead of being negative, I'm going to be positive. Instead of not being there, I'm going to be there. Instead of, it was just,
Mm.
to me, that was just do the opposite kind of thing. And that's what the song was about for me. And then I was like, well, I did that. Maybe I could try some other things too.
Yeah.
Maybe, this emotion, that emotion, I go through this stage in life, that stage in life. But
Mm.
it was a very important song for me in my life.
Mm.
Like I said, I've not recorded it. It's on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, but your brother did an amazing job. Just a little guitar strumming out by the campfire last fall.
Mm.
Bo Allen, man, he brought that song out, just that little simple little recording right there. And I appreciate the people that God has brought into my life, like you and him and
Yeah.
others that have been in my life that have encouraged and helped me to express myself and kind of get it out there to people who might want to hear something and be positive, gain some positivity from it for their life. And it's just a magical, amazing thing, man. And it's an art.
It is.
It's an art. I mean, people throw paint on a wall. It's an art. You see graffiti every day. That's an art. That's beauty.
Yeah.
I see trains pass me on a stop sometimes, and you got all these cars with graffiti on the side. That's somebody who's expressing themselves.
It
For a
is.
split
Yeah.
second, I saw that. I was like, "Ooh, that's kind of cool. Ooh, look at them cut. Look at them shapes."
Mm-hmm.
That's all it's about. It's about feeling and emotions and energy. And
Mm.
I'm just trying
Songwriting, man.
to.
I'm still trying to write a better love song than REO Speedwagon.
Ooh.
I can't fight this feeling anymore. I just can't. I'm trying to write that love song that everybody on the planet knows. It is an art and it's a science. And so you got people in your life
You
that
know, you're
mentor
talking.
you. Yeah.
You're talking about the 80s, man. And we, kind of grew up during that time very, very young. And it was just like music was so different then. Everything was developing.
Yeah.
Social media wasn't even around, but you had MTV, you had the song on the radio, and just everybody was different.
Yeah.
Every artist was different. Everybody, there was a different sound, but it was all so cool. And there'll never be anything like that again, because I'm not knocking social media, but it's just like everybody's thrown in the stew now. All the spices are there, and it's just like, well, what we do, we take that spice out, throw something else in. Make it taste a little different, but it's still, man, back then, it was just like, you had the different artists that sounded so different, but it was just so amazing. And everybody came from different countries,
Yeah.
different parts of the United States. We had the
Yeah.
British invasion, we had all this stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
what did America offer at the time? Well, we had the blues, man. The
Yeah.
blues. That's what America had.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. Well, you know what? British artists come over here. You had Led Zeppelin and all these guys studying the blues, and all of a sudden they just came out with something totally different. They
Yeah.
came out with, it's just, oh man, this is way too big to even discuss.
Music.
Oh,
Music.
music. It's
Schmusic.
amazing.
And that's the
Schmusic.
name. That's the name of my record label, Schmusic. Okay, and we
I would never want to be country. I just like the cowboy hats. You know
I
what I'm
like
saying?
Schmusic. I like
I don't
all of
want to
it.
be, yes, it's all.
Yeah.
Let's throw a bunch of stuff together and put a cowboy hat on top of it and call it
Yeah.
something country. I don't know,
Right.
man.
Yeah.
Um, there's just so many artists, man, that have so many emotions and feelings.
Yeah.
It's fluid. It's just like water.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
80% water,
I tell
right?
you, I tell you what exploded my brain as a teenager is when my cousin Rod there in Harlan, my uncle Roger Dale, his dad, my dad's brother, and so we'd go to Harlan and spend some time. And man, he put on AC/DC one day, man, and I was like, "What on earth is going on?" And so,
What's that guitar?
yeah, just love that sound. And
Yes.
ironically, my one of my lead guitarists right now in 21 Rails, he is dialed into the Angus Young sound on his Telecaster, and so it's
Oh yeah.
like that sound. It was like it hit me, and then just their anthems. But yeah, AC/DC blew my mind. And then when I was a teenager, and I was trying to have, three or four girlfriends at a time, like we all try to do, man, that Brian Adams brought it on some stuff. And I was like, ooh, come on.
Yeah.
My favorite artist from Canada, by the way, Brian Adams. So yeah, we're just influenced by everything we listen to. We've got about 9 minutes left on this podcast, Monty. I want to ask you this. Okay. Eldon Huff, how much of a difference has he made in your career right now?
Man, um, I wouldn't even be. Nobody would hear me if it wasn't for Eldon.
Yeah.
There would be nothing to listen to because he was such an amazing producer. He knew, man. He would listen to stuff, and like I'll just play on acoustic guitar. He's like, man, we need to squeeze this out of that. We need to squeeze this out of that. He listened. He really listened to what he was going to produce, and he made it. He got the most out of it that anybody could. It's like for me at this level in my career, he's it. Me, he is it. I'm not going to search anymore. He was led to me by a very reputable Grammy Award winning producer
Mm,
because that guy was busy at the time. He was working with Leonard Skinner in studio. He's like, because he'd worked with Eldon. He's just like, well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to be busy for the rest of the year. You mentioned to me that you knew Eldon, you were familiar with him. Well, I've done stuff for him, and you need to give him a shot because he is an amazing producer and an amazing guitarist to boot.
yeah.
And that guy, man, I mean, he'll listen to something. He knows exactly guitar wise what to throw in. It just fits so good. And I honestly wish I could play in a band with that guy, but I know he's busy doing his thing. And
Mhm.
he's been an amazing producer. He's brought so much out. He's made things sound exactly how I wanted and better.
Yeah.
So it's been an amazing relationship. I've known him for about 3.5 years.
Mm,
Personally, I met him before that once through a friend, but he was at a gig and I was just like, oh man, hey, let's do a show. Sounds awesome. He was doing kind of the blues thing at the time.
yeah.
But I know he's been in and around Nashville, and he's done so many reputable things. And but man, he is such a even keeled, intelligent person. You can talk to him, and he listens, and he knows exactly what you want to pull out of that music. And he's not going to do anything that he doesn't think is credible. He doesn't want to do anything that he doesn't feel like he's going to believe in at some point.
Yeah.
And that means so much at this point in anybody's career. Anybody's going to take your money. This guy's going to be like, man, I don't know. Let's try this. Let's try that. I don't know. He's not going to just. He is going to listen to you, and he's going to put himself in a position where he actually believes in what you're doing
Yeah.
before he gets involved. So
Mm,
that was an honor to me that he was like, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. And I was like, uh oh.
yeah.
He said, your music Your music to me is like if Tom Petty and Alan Jackson got in a room together and started
Yeah.
writing.
Mhm.
Quite odd, quite different, but he's like, you know what though, it works. And I like how it comes out in the end. It's not my music. I don't like to write lyrically like everybody else.
Yeah.
I like to come from a point of strong inner faith and then go from there. I don't want to be on the surface, party, drink, this girl, that girl, let's do this. Hey girl, truck.
Yeah.
I wish I could do that. It's just not where I'm from. It's not what I want to spend my time and efforts on. And if it doesn't go anywhere, that's fine.
Mhm.
And but I'm just a little bitty artist out here trying to paint a picture like everybody else and hoping that something reaches somebody else's heart at some point. And
Mhm.
but Eldon's helped me to really get that out there, man. And I've collaborate with him, and I've talked to him quite often. And if I need any advice, man, he's just been there for me. And
Yeah.
he's an amazing guy. He's an amazing talent, and
Mhm.
I'm so thankful, you know, that he was brought into what I'm doing, and I think everything's meant to be. So
Mhm. That's
that's
that's beautiful. It's about who you work with, you know. Believe it.
most, yeah,
The work will always be there. It's about relationship, and that's in every mountain of influence that we're operating in.
yeah.
Just a few minutes left here. I just want to touch on this. Hey, let's let the listeners know what upcoming projects do you have? What do you got going right now? What can they expect?
Um, well, this summer, 2025, I'm releasing another single. I just released "Don't Feel Lonely."
Yeah,
Again,
beautiful
produced by
song.
Elton.
Beautiful song, by the way.
I
Beautiful.
appreciate it.
Beautiful.
Um, Bo Allen did the video. Man, he is such an amazing visionary.
Yeah.
Not only is he a visionary, man, he knows exactly what something needs, and he digs in, and he's there 100%. He's building off of what Eldon did musically. And
Yeah.
those guys, I know they live long distances apart, but man, I know they got that connection when they were friends back in the day, and they've never lost that. Those guys are like one and the same.
Yeah.
Eldon does this with the music. Bo's doing this with the visual, the videos. It's just like, man,
Yep.
I'm just glad. I'm grateful to be in the middle of that situation. But yeah, I've got another song coming out this summer called "Names I Say No More."
Mm.
Somebody that in this situation of the storytelling, the singer is an alcoholic, or he had been an alcoholic in the past. He's
Yeah.
made some bad decisions. He's pushed people out of his life because
Yeah.
of a dependency on something else. And so the song being "Names I Say No More," you say somebody's name every day.
Mm.
Now you don't say that name anymore because they're not there.
Wow.
And it basically, the song is about a baptism. The guy's at his baptism, and he's thinking of this as this process as he's going into the water, getting ready to be baptized, cleanse his heart and soul. But he knows that he's made mistakes in the past. Even though he's done that, he knows he can't gain what he used to have as far as the relationships. But the positive thing is, it's like, man, he's been forgiven. He stumbled along the way.
Yeah.
He knows he's made his mistakes, but he also knows that there's hope even
Wow.
in the life. You'll see these people in the in your in heaven. And it was just
Mm.
man, I just try to reach lyrically and story wise into these songs that way, more of a visual kind of thing. Like I said, one of my greatest influences when I was a kid was Sting.
Mm.
Man,
Mm.
his lyrics are poetic. I
Mm.
read fish caught on dry land, trying to avoid any helping hand. I was like, man, oh
Mm.
gosh, beating hard. But those aren't straightforward lyrics like you hear in country music today.
Yeah.
But man, there's so much to be said for reaching inside and twisting things a little bit differently, and not just throwing it out there black and white.
Yeah.
This is how I want to do it, man. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But as far as making money, that's fine. If people appreciate it and respect it, man, I'm here. Let's go. Let's do some more. I'll throw you some, you know.
I love it, Monte. And we're wrapping up here. We got a couple seconds left. I just want to let the listeners know, you know, you're all over the internet. Okay. You got a YouTube channel, Monte Wilson. We got the graphics up in the video here. All right, to follow you. But God bless you, brother. I appreciate you.